What is up, my friends? You are welcome along to our player ratings here on Anfield Agenda after another abject Liverpool performance. Sees us draw 0-0 with Crystal Palace to put another massive dent, as if we didn't have enough already, in any ambitions we had for a Champions League spot this season. I'm going to run through the player ratings as usual. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Please do drop a like on the video, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you know what to do. Look, before I get stuck into it, I do want to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, Circl. They've been great supporters of us here on Anfield Agenda. If you would like to join us and play along with future Circles, and if you don't know what Circl is, I'm going to quickly explain to you. It is the football sweepstakes game where the winner is decided by events that happen live on the pitch and every moment counts. Scan the QR code in the top right hand corner. If you are a UK resident and you're aged 18 plus, good news, you're eligible to play along with us. If you would like to get yourself £5 in free bets, when you deposit and place your first £5 of bets, use the referral code anfieldagenda on sign up. And again, it is a gambling product, so please gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org is there for all of your responsible gambling tools. And I hope nobody had a punt on Liverpool today, by the way, because that will probably only add to your frustration. The frustration that I am really struggling to keep inside, my friends. Let's start off, before I say something that I regret, with Alisson Becker. And he didn't have much to do today. He had one save that I can remember him having to make when Trent gave the ball to Matip. But ultimately, it was a fairly straightforward afternoon. So he's the only one in this team today that is going to get a score anywhere near this high, and he is going to get himself a 7. He kept a clean sheet, didn't have much to do, didn't make any mistakes, fairly straightforward. Unfortunately, that's where the fun stops, because then we move on to this man. And I do not say this lightly, and I promise you this is not just a reaction to another dismal performance, but we need to get rid of him from right back. If Jurgen Klopp feels like Trent has a place in midfield, fair enough. But he cannot be our right back. He cannot. Today, twice almost given to them a goal. Another time, watched the ball drop over his shoulder. If he wasn't doing that, he was playing free kick straight into Hendo. If he wasn't doing that, he was playing 15 yards behind Robbo with crossfield balls. Ultimately, it was an embarrassing performance from somebody who looked like he didn't give a damn out there. Jurgen Klopp took until the 70th or 75th minute to drag Trent off the pitch. He shouldn't have seen the second half. Himself and Keita were nothing short of a disgrace. Trent Alexander-Arnold today, you get yourself a 2. The lowest score I think I've ever given a player on Anfield Agenda. That was pathetic from somebody who was well capable of better performances. Moving on to Joel Matip. The summer can't come quickly enough at this point to get rid of some of these guys. And unfortunately, Joel is somebody that needs to go as well. And he will be going in the summer if reported to be believed. Look, ultimately, the defence, from a defensive perspective, kept a clean sheet. But not because of any excellent defending. More because Palace were just dull and didn't really offer too much in attack. Joel Matip's performance was confusing, along with Van Dijk. This insistence we have of slowly knocking the ball side to side around the back and then just running it forward like lunatics with no actual vision about what's to happen, only to play the ball into feet to a midfielder who plays it back to our defence. I don't get it. Look, Matip, get yourself a 5 today for that. You kept a clean sheet, but that's the only reason you're getting a 5. Virgil van Dijk. Some good defensive cover today from Virg, in fairness. There was a couple of occasions where he was in a bit of a foot race with Mateta and a few others, and he didn't dive in and he stood up. But again, just left with more questions than answers. Some of his passing just seemed lazy today, and I don't know if I've picked up on this wrong. And I am venting and I am frustrated. And Virg, again, was part of a defence that kept a clean sheet. So if you look at it from that perspective, I guess they can say they did their job. But Van Dijk needs to get back to his best. He's not there yet. I'm going to give him the same score as his centre-back partner and give him a 5 and move on. Robertson. I was very frustrated with Robbo today. In my preview for the game, I'd called for Costa Simicas to come on because we need more attacking impetus. We need people to actually have a go around the outside. People who can actually cross the ball without you hitting the first man. Corners, free kicks, crosses, everything from Robbo today was just subpar, substandard and not good enough. How many times does he have to hit the first man? How many times when he's trying to play quick balls into the box is he hitting the legs of players? Just take your time. And here's a little idea. Go around the outside every now and again. You don't always have to check inside and make the pitch narrower. You should be making the pitch as big as possible. I can only assume it's under instruction, but I can also only assume that Jurgen Klopp has lost the plot. How on earth we didn't get Costas on there to try and find a winner in that game, I do not know. So Andy Robertson, 4. Jordan Henderson. It's going to 1 good game, 4 bad games. That's where we're at now with Henderson. When you seen that midfield today, tell me your heart didn't drop when you seen James Milner and Jordan Henderson alongside Naby Keita in 2023 in the centre of the park for Liverpool in a must-win away game. Tell me that you didn't lose a little bit of your soul when you seen that, because I did. And they backed it up on the pitch with an absolutely embarrassing midfield performance. Henderson is the most negative midfield player I think I've ever seen wear a Liverpool shirt. Every time he could have 15 yards of space around him and it's sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards. And when it's not that, he's giving away cheap free kicks. Looks like he's running in quicksand. I don't get it. He jockeys players and doesn't do that and just runs up to them, shakes himself sideways and runs back off. Not good enough. 3, shouldn't be a starter anymore. Shouldn't be near being a starter anymore. Shouldn't have been on the pitch for the game. Should have been dragged off at half time. Not good enough. That's our captain, by the way. James Milner, 37 years of age. Shouldn't be starting a game. More comfortable with him at right back, to be fair, and I wish Klopp had done that much earlier in the game. Should have dragged Trent off at half time and stuck Milner at right back. You're always going to get effort from Jimmy Milner. You're never going to get that utterly exceptional, but he'll always set a tone and he'll always work and graft. So for me, because of his versatility today, I'm going to give him one of the higher scores. I'm going to give Milner a 6. 37-year-old in there, the only one that looked like he had anything about him in that midfield today. Just pathetic again from us. Just shocking. This man here, this fraud, this charlatan, this chancer should never, ever kid out for Liverpool's first team again. The sooner the better we get rid of this lad in the summer. He should be stuck in the under-21s at this point because he's pathetic. Every single time you need something from this man, he finds a way to let you down. Every time. Whether it's away in a big European game or it's a must-win game in the league. He gives it all this. His representatives give it all this. But he hasn't got the backbone to battle it up. He needs to be gone. Do not ever pick him in the starting midfield again. He is a disgrace. 2. Mo. What to do with Mo? Was unlucky with the one that hit the bar. That came at him quickly. You know, he was very unlucky with that. But he did have 3 or 4 other really good options to shoot or pass. And all the time chose the option to shoot. And none of it anywhere nearly good enough. 2 that he drags wide. Little tiddlers that a 5-year-old would have hit with more power. And another one then straight at the keeper. Where he should have been squaring it across to Diogo Jota, who would have had a tap in. Make excuses for this man all you want, but he has been the highest paid player in the history of Liverpool Football Club and he isn't shown up this season. You can make your excuses however you want. You can say it's those around him, you can say it's fatigue, you can say whatever you want, but the facts are that he's a 1 in 3 merchant at this point and he's not doing enough to justify 350 or 400,000 pound a week. And I don't care what excuses people have. He needs to buck up his ideas quickly. If you want to be paid as a difference maker, you need to be a difference maker. And he is part of a Liverpool team and a leader, a senior pro in a team that just isn't up to it. So Mohamed Salah needs to buck up his ideas and do better. 4 for Salah today. Diogo Jota. Don't want to be overly critical of Diogo. Coming back from a good time out. Unlucky today, got close to getting on the end of a couple of bits and pieces. Had a good strike from the edge of the box as well that he did well to keep down, but it was straight at Keita. But look, ultimately, again, just flattering to deceive. So he does get a bit of good grace from me. I do like Diogo Jota as a footballer. I think he's very intelligent. Still not quite sure where his best position is. But again, I am glad he's back fit and available. And I think he will come good over the coming weeks. So for today, I'm going to give Diogo a 6. Cody Gakpo. How many of you forgot he was on the pitch? Honestly, put your hands up. Be honest. You forgot he was on the pitch, right? Until I just reminded you. And I don't know whether that's his own poor performance or the fact that we just didn't know how to get him involved in the game. But again, I'm not going to judge somebody who's only just in the door at the football club and has come in at a difficult time. So again, I give Gakpo a bit of breathing space in the big picture. But right now, that performance wasn't good today. 5 for Cody Gakpo, unfortunately. And it's with a heavy heart I say that. Harvey Elliott should have started for me. Then when he came on, he was getting shifted around everywhere. Right side of midfield, then left wing at the end of the game. Give the kid a chance, Klopp. If you want him to develop, give him a chance. Give him a role. Stop shifting around everywhere to cover dross that isn't performing. Give Elliott a chance in one position to make it his own. Otherwise, what's the point? You can't keep asking players to be heroes all over the park, to be multi-positional players. This kid needs to know where he's going to play. He should be in that team ahead of Henderson, ahead of Milner, ahead of Keita, week in and week out. At least he has a future. We'll find out if he's good enough or not, but by God, give him opportunities and allow him to show his creativity. So again, I'm confused at what the plan was when he brought him on, drifting him all around the pitch, dragging him from one place to the next. I don't feel it's fair on Harvey Elliott. Going to give Harvey Elliott a 6 and move on. Fabinho, we managed to do as usual. Nothing. Bring people down, fouls, look slow, reactionary. Sell him in the summer. Very fond of himself and his missus. They've been great additions to the Liverpool family. Always tried to be positive. I understand it's probably a difficult time for him and his family, and I understand that he's not liking seeing the negative things about him. I get it. I don't like to say it, but he's fallen off a cliff. He is not the Fabinho we know he's capable of being. And all the defending him in the world isn't going to change that. It's at the point now where it's a consistent feature. He should be sold in the summer. And I don't like saying that either. But today, from a sub-performance, a 5. Bobby Firmino. Within 10 seconds of him being on the pitch, he showed more forward thinking than most of the players around him. Dropping a shoulder, turning into space and trying to make things happen. Again, didn't really catch up to the speed of the game today or get involved in too much of a positive sense from a goal-scoring contribution. But at least he knows what the team's about. At least he knows what's expected in his role. So I hope that we see him play more in the coming weeks. Maybe even put him to the centre, Darwin to the left, and if he insists on keep playing Mohamed Salah, put him on the right hand side. But I do think we need more minutes for Bobby. Tough one to judge him on this today, so I'm going to stick to a 6 for Bobby. And young Stefan Bajcetic, what was the point of bringing him on with 6.5 minutes to go? Honestly, I don't get it. Like, what is the point? How can anyone change a game in that time? And again, Stefan coming on meant that Harvey Elliott had to shift from right side of midfield or left side of midfield to the left side of attack. Again, confusing everybody and not making it a very simple situation for people to figure out who's going to be running where. Bajcetic has a huge future ahead of him. He will be the Fabinho replacement most likely from next season, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing his career develop. Very difficult to give him any score today because of course he was just on the pitch for a few minutes. So from that, we'll give Stefan a 6 and we'll call that a day with regard to the player ratings. But I've got one last word, and that is on our manager. And our manager today has really riled many of us, because how on earth he continues to look at this dross and allow it to happen and allow Trent to get away with it and keep giving Keita chances. Something needs to change. If you want to play Trent, play him in midfield or don't play him. He is not a right back. He's not going to be a right back. He will never be a right back if we continue to play this way. We are exposed in that area over and over again. And it's great when he's getting assists and it's great when we're going forward. But if we're not firing, he's not defending and we're being found out. And it's not good enough. And his attitude looked like it stunk out there today. So Jurgen Klopp has his own questions to answer. That is it from me today. I want to know your thoughts. Is top 4 over? Should the manager really look to ring the changes for the rest of the season and give youth a chance? Or are we going to continue to see this same level of abject misery week after week? I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.